this is the part I've been waiting for. Saturday night. Saturday night came along, and the rumor was, and by rumor I mean we all knew it was a fact and it was scheduled. There was a party upstairs at the Indigo Hotel on the 3rd floor, and Gary Graham's band, the Sons of Kirk, were playing. They are a Star Trek themed band, but they also play all kinds of cool hits that everybody knows and loves. Lots of things to dance to and rock out to. And we all kind of pop our head in to see how it's going, and it's rocking, totally rocking. There, what would you say? About 100 people were there, and Nichelle was there.
Maybe
actually,
150.
The picture behind Rico is from that night. It looks like,
it is.
And that had to be the most active I've seen Nichelle in at least 5 years. She just decided, hey, I want to get up and I want to dance. And so she got up and she started dancing with people. And every time she'd sit back down, she'd stand back up and be like, you know what? I've still got some more ants in my pants. I want to dance a little more.
Oh yeah.
And it was just so beautiful. It was just so cool to see. The look on her face was just beaming. Like, this is 9, 10 o'clock at night, and this 80-plus-year-old lady wants to just keep playing and keep laughing and smiling and telling everybody how much she loves them, and her big smile and looking at her. I mean, it was just such a good feeling, wasn't it?
And the beautiful thing about it was she, like, her lines, the things that she said, it was all beautiful, but the last parts where she was like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Oh my God. It was
And she had signed. She had like 2 or 3 times of like a couple of hours a piece signing during the day. I mean, she's
pretty much all day. Yeah.
She was working all day.
All day, man. Yeah.
In her way.
It was such a highlight. It was such a highlight. And being there and seeing the pure joy on her face when she was on the dance floor. I remember thinking, this is what I battled traffic for. This moment, this made it all worth it. And just seeing how much she just loved being there and celebrating life. And it was definitely on her own terms. And when she would sit back down, she would get right back up. She was like, no, I don't want to sit. Let's get back up on the floor. And I'm just like, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful to see. And I'm glad I was there to witness it. So, yeah.
At one point they said, like, Nichelle really liked a song. So we were saying, like, to the band, hey, play that song again. Nichelle wants to dance to it. So they, Sons of Kirk went and played it all over again. What was it? It was some 70s tune. It was a rockin' 70s tune. I can't remember it right now.
I'm trying to think. There was one they took a second on, and then they found it and came back to it. Not La Bamba.
No, but that was one that they played that night.
Yeah. Just everybody having fun. No, it was like that glow, that smile and that glow came through. So I want to say something, because I know over the last few years, a lot of stuff's been written. People have been concerned. People have been sincerely concerned about the controversy that was around Nichelle and her estate and who was looking out for her the best, and her old manager that I remember I dealt with once or twice. I dealt with him to have her do her interview for the Con of Wrath. We went to the house, but this thing, and then when Kyle kind of got back in the picture and all that, and people suspecting his motives and all that, and then this third party person coming in saying she's going to do better than either of the two of them, and all. Anyway, it was crazy. But by the time the last year or so, I mean, a lot of the court stuff has happened, and there've been some news stories, and people have been concerned. But the last year or two, it's been pretty settled, and she's been in good hands. And it's when it became not about Kyle or son, but when her sister and the rest of the family, and then you saw that Saturday night, you saw, here they all are here. Like, how things are settled now. They're fine. There's no, and I've seen people even recently say, well, they've had her at this thing all weekend doing. It's like, when you saw her at that dance, that did not look like a woman who was there against her will or who was not enjoying it and processing it.
She looked like she was having the time of her life.
Yeah, she had her, her quiet voice that she has, but she was, and it was the same thing on Sunday when they gave her, when Mae Jemison was there with I don't want to get ahead of it, but you could tell she was enjoying everything, and that's what she wanted to be doing. And they were at the scale of what was good for her. And like the family panel Friday night, she wasn't part of that. It was the rest of the family. They weren't trying to have her up there with them or even sitting down the audience. She was resting, and that was at 5 going on 6 o'clock. So it's not like, I just wanted to say, if nothing else, aside from everybody getting all these big smiles from the joy that was there, the subtext of that was, look, this is all good. If anybody was still, concerned or anything, this is all good. And it's closing the door on her public life. So yeah, what you were saying, Melissa, it was
oh my God, we're going to miss her.
Yeah.
I think just like as an actor, I'm sure like as an actor being on set is her happy place. Like for most actors, I think in terms of the con circuit and the fans, that's also her happy place. And even going into her present situation in life and everything, it's still her happy place. So it's almost like in a lot of ways you have had to have been there, or even if you weren't, if you've ever been to an event that she's been at, or even if you've just met her, if you got a picture with her or a book signed or anything signed, you're seeing genuine happiness coming from a woman who I'm sure next to family is probably at her happiest in life. So it's really a joy to see that, and Larry, I think you said what you said was spot on, and yeah, I don't think she's been happier than when she's on set, when she's at these cons with the family, with her fans and whatnot. So
it was really nice.
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, it was really nice to see her whole family with her and surrounding her, and they were all having so much fun. And a lot of them seemed like, I don't want to say surprised, but very impressed. They were like, wow, this is so great. And when the people would line up in Starfleet uniform to walk her out, and beautiful. And they were looking around and they were like, this is amazing. I love this.
And they knew it, but I don't think a lot, because I was in the family panel, I was trying to say, and they talked about that. It's like, well, she was this icon to the world, but to us, she was just Auntie Shell, Auntie Shelly Mama.
Yeah.
And which is that's always the truth. Your family is one thing, and her sister was said, sometimes Nichelle would, just start off. And she said once or twice, she said, what was it? She said, they would get into something family-ish and she starts kind of dictating, but she's not trying to. She's just goes into that mode. And she said, one of the things she said was one time that happened, and she goes, hey, we ain't your fans. And she was like, oh, yeah. It's
we're not ensigns.
Oh, my sisters. Yeah. Okay.
And what were you saying, Melissa?
No, I was going to say, you can see the genuine love that she has for people. And she draws energy from that, from the love of the people that give it to her, and she gives it right back. And that was part of the beauty of Saturday night as well. And then hearing Mae Jemison talk on stage about being part of her family as well, and that was eye-opening. I had no idea, but that was so wonderful to see what a close-knit unit they are, and how much they care for her. So that was beautiful as well.
And remember, that's the same heart that responded to Martin Luther King when he said, you can't leave the show. That's the same heart that responded to finding herself being thrust into this role of women of color trying to battle in Hollywood and represent the same heart that's jumped in to, broaden out the face of American space and recruit for NASA.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a pioneer.
Face that had to watch some of her people die on the first Challenger, that she had personally recruited 3 of those,
Yeah.
But Judy Resnick and Ellison Onizuka and Ron McNair were all people from her class that she recruited. Yeah.
See, that's the beauty of Larry right there. He just named 3 people I've never heard of in my life that I know of. Maybe it
helps.
Well, you know of the
watching the Challenger blow up on screen.
Pulled them out.
Yeah, you knew of the astronauts, maybe not the names. I mean,
I got refreshed over the weekend. Okay, I'll say that. Yeah.
Well, I think out of all those astronauts, I think Christy McAuliffe was the one who was the most famous because she was the teacher.
Right. The teacher,
won the trip to go up.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So, it was a great celebration of Nichelle Nichols, not just in the panels, not just in the fans, but just in the joy on her face. Because, there's always the possibility that, when you're elderly, you have good weekends and bad weekends. You have good days and bad days. What if she was just tired that weekend and just didn't feel like hanging out? She just wanted a nap. That's okay. A lot of times that happens. But she looked like she was guns blazing. Like she was just out there, especially at the party. It was surprising to see, but also not surprising, because I think any of us in that position would be like, all right, this is my last hurrah before I ride off into the sunset and just hang out, watch Wheel of Fortune or whatever.